Republican primary. And he did it spending an incredibly small amount of money compared to everybody else. And he did it with every super PAC fighting against him. And he did it with every establishment Republican fighting against him. You need to give credit where credit is due. This man succeeded. Was he brash? Was he bold? Was he thinking outside the box? Absolutely. Was he rude? Was he insensitive to people? Yes, he was. But everything he did had a purpose. And in a field of 16 strong professional politicians, Donald Trump has become the presumptive nominee for the Republican Party in the 2016 general election. So it angers me a little bit when I see these Never Trump folks and these Cruzbot folks who say, I will never vote for Donald Trump. He's the same as Hillary Clinton. So let's talk about that for a moment. Donald Trump is not, I repeat, is not the same as Hillary Clinton. And if you are, you need to pull your head out of the sand. Because let's take illegal immigration for one. Building the wall. Do you think Hillary Clinton will build a wall? Ask yourself that. Will Hillary Clinton even put any more money into hiring more border security? Absolutely not. Fencing, walls, and more border security is not something Hillary Clinton wants because Hillary Clinton knows that she's losing the African American community. She knows that the average American is realizing that the Democratic Party is not supporting them. Actions speak louder than words, and poor people are as poor today as they were 8 years ago after Barack Obama. So what do the Democrats do? They have only one solution. If they want to retain power, they want to continue that oligarchy that they have in Washington, D.C., they need new voters. This is why they don't like voter ID laws. This is why they want unmitigated immigration from Syria, from China, from Mexico and Central America. They don't care. They want new voters. And especially if they're non-educated voters. Now, you may not know this, but most of our Latin American refugees or immigrants, illegal immigrants that come here, they don't even know how to read Spanish. They're completely illiterate. And that's exactly the type of person they want because they can't read, they don't know, they're easy to fool. They can make all kinds of promises and they're not educated enough to ever fight back against it or hold them accountable. That's what the Democratic Party does. So on immigration, there is a huge difference between Trump and Hillary Clinton. You're saying, Trump's never going to build that wall. I heard Ted Cruz saying, he told the New York editorial board something different. That's one of Cruz's lies. The New York editorial board said no. He never said that. He said he has some flexibility. Well, of course he does. That's the art of the deal. You go in with the biggest, baddest thing you can get. That's what you have to deal with. But there is no way that Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump are the same. There's just not. There's no way that's even close. Let's talk about a temporary ban on Muslims. That's what Donald Trump is talking about. It's not that he hates all Muslims and he's going to throw Muslims out. That's what the liberal media wants you to say. But that's not true. Never has been. Temporary ban on Muslim immigration to this country, refugees, especially from the part of the world known as Syria, Iraq, Somalia, that should end. And it should end right now. There should be no question. If Washington, D.C. gave a rat's banana about us, it would be stopping that right now. And what's the latest news on the Daily Drift? Barack Obama is increasing Muslims coming here. That's what he's doing. And you think I'm crazy? Well, one of the stories we have on the Daily Drift is the fact that the Obama administration is taking security screening procedures from 18 to 24 months to around 3 months. Now, let me ask you something. I've said this before, too. Who exactly do you call in Syria to find out the background of a person in Syria? Even before the civil war that has torn that country apart, who the hell did you really call in Syria to get a good background check on somebody? And so when normal operating procedure is 18 to 24 months to try and figure out who somebody is, I don't even know that that's enough time to really... How do you do that without sending somebody over there and asking neighbors and family and friends what somebody is up to or who they're involved with or what what connections they have. An 18 to 24 month process, it seems pretty short, to be honest with you. But Barack Obama is increasing that 10,000 Syrian refugees by 2016, by the end of fiscal year 2016, he's taken it down to 3 months. You need to ask yourself why Barack Obama is doing that. Well, it goes back to the democratic process. They need new voters. They need new voters. And this goes back to immigration, as I've always said. There is an economic problem with immigration. You think there's not enough jobs for African American people, for the young kids in the inner city, be they of any color? That's because you keep adding millions, 1 million legally each year to the United States of America. You're increasing the work pool and the population by 1 million people every year. What do you think that does to those low-skilled jobs that people have when they start out? They may not have finished high school, or maybe they're still in high school. You don't have a lot of experience, so you need those low-skilled jobs. That's the fast food jobs. That's the dishwashing. It's the serving of food. It's all those things. It's the hard labor. What are you going to do when you bring 1 million more people into the country each year? That's legally, mind you. That doesn't take into effect the illegals that come across the border every year. I'm going to put that figure at probably another 1 million people, maybe 500,000. I'll even consider 500,000 people coming into this country illegally each year, be it from Canada or boats or Eastern Europe or China or across the border in Mexico. I don't know. But you're making it hard. And that's the reason there's been no uptick in wages for the last 15 years, because it's simple economics. Now, add to that the fact that the people coming from Syria and the Middle East are pretty anti-American. They don't like our values. They don't like our culture. They want to come here and change things. They like the Sharia law. They love all these things. And if that's the case, why indeed are they actually coming here? Well, they want the opportunity, but they're not willing to pay the price for that opportunity. And the price you have to pay to come to the United States, besides the fees, of course, is knowing that, you know what, there are things here you may not like, but that's what our country is all about. The cost of being an American citizen is knowing that there are going to be other people here who have different values than you do, who have different cultures than you do, who don't believe in what you believe. And that's okay. But when you get people of Muslim nature, and I'm not saying all Muslim, I'm not going to paint the broad stroke like that, because you know what? I have one Twitter follower and I follow him. He's a Muslim. He's an American-loving Muslim. He's an American-first Muslim. This guy's tweets are phenomenal. And it stands against everything that we always say about Muslims. Here's a guy who practices his faith in obviously a way that would probably get him killed in the Middle East as well. Because he practices his faith, but he practices as an American. He doesn't believe and put his religion above the American values and his ability to live here as an American. He loves this country. And some of his tweets are the most profound. That's Muhammad for Trump, if you can imagine that. And he's only one of probably millions in this country who believe that Donald Trump is on the right track. So don't paint everybody with a broad brush. I'm not saying that. But immigration is a huge problem, and that's why Donald Trump is different than Hillary Clinton. Donald Trump believes and knows that things need to be a little different. All right, well, let's take a break, and when we come back, we will continue our show. We'll see you on the other side.
No shots, no drills, no pain. Got your attention? I'm talking about Dr. Michael Singleton, DDS, in Saline. He's been my family's dentist for almost 30 years, and that's a long time. If you're like most people, fear keeps you from going to the dentist. But now, with the Solea laser technology, the latest in dentistry, there's no fear. That's right. With Dr. Singleton's Solea laser, there's no fear in going to the dentist. I've seen it with my own eyes. It's truly amazing. So stop putting off a visit to the dentist and call Dr. Michael Singleton today at 7 734-429-7415 or stop by at 1081 North Ann Arbor Street in Saline. Online at singletonsmiles.com. No shots, no drills, no pain.
Call Dr. Michael Singleton in Saline today at 734-429-7415. That's 734-429-7415.
Hi, I'm Joe Gannon, the Appliance Doctor. Are you having problems with any of your appliances? Is your dryer drying or dying? Has your washing machine got you agitated? How about your refrigerator? Check out RepairClinic.com. Repair Clinic makes it easy for you to do the repairs yourself. Repair Clinic has millions of genuine factory direct parts in stock and ready for you. Parts for your appliances, your heating and air conditioning. And now that it's grass cutting time, you can also get your lawnmower parts, tune-up kits at RepairClinic.com. Repair Clinic also has thousands of easy-to-follow repair videos. I almost forgot to mention Repair Clinic's 365-day return policy. Repair Clinic makes fixing things easy. You can order from RepairClinic.com anytime, day or night, and you can come visit their worldwide headquarters on Michigan Avenue in Canton. They're open 7 days a week. Visit them online or call 800-269-2609 or stop by and tell them Joe sent you.
You're catching the drift. Gary Wellings and the Drift on Wham Talk 1600. Call 734-822-1600 to join in the discussion.
And welcome back. Thanks for tuning in to catch my drift here at Wham Talk 1600. You're catching the drift, and you can email me, Gary at thedailydrift.com, and we're talking about the stories we put on the Daily Drift every day. www.thedailydrift.com. Make sure you check it out there. And if you missed this show live, you can catch it on podcast at ICRN, which is conservativeradionetwork.com. You can also catch it on Spreaker. And of course, I archive everything at thedailydrift.com. Just go to the Common Sense Radio tab up top. So let's take a look at why else Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump are not the same. Let's talk about TPP. Now, trade with foreign countries is inevitable. It has to happen. But TPP, which Paul Ryan supports, is bad for the United States. And you can tell it's bad very simply. And I'll even argue with my own congressman on this one. When you have wording in a pact like TPP that provides money to train American workers who lose their jobs, doesn't that tell you something? If TPP is going to cost an American job, it's bad for us. There's got to be a way to make trade more fair. Trump is for that. And people will say he's going to start a trade war. No, he's not. The first thing he's going to do is try and get our corporate tax rate down. Get that corporate tax rate down, get people to come back here and start building stuff here again. That's a big issue. But he's also going to look at finding ways to make countries not be as likable over there to move your business to as they are here. And that's a good thing. And if it requires maybe putting some tariffs on things, well, that's what we need to have. Because you know what? A country like ours cannot exist without a manufacturing base. We have a lot of enemies in this world. And to have enemies means you better be able to protect yourself with tanks, guns, infrastructure, planes. And that requires heavy manufacturing. What are we going to call China if they're attacking us to help us build some planes or tanks? No. You have to have manufacturing jobs coming back to the United States of America. That's a must. Does that mean some things may be more expensive here in the United States? Yes, it does. But if we've got jobs that pay well, it's all right. We can probably afford it and don't have to buy the cheapest Chinese TV set we get. I'm no big fan of trade, of tariffs and trade wars. Don't get me wrong. But Donald Trump is the guy I trust to handle that, not a Hillary Clinton. Well, how else are they different? He wants to hold NATO and our allies accountable to pay for things. Instead of us paying for the entire world's protection, which we shouldn't be, maybe Donald Trump is right and other people need to step up. We need to hold everyone else in the world accountable. It shouldn't be us always keeping the peace. The Russians should be able to pick up their share. The Chinese should be able to pick up their share. Because you know what? They're just as susceptible to terrorism as we are. The Middle East countries, Saudi Arabia's got all the money in the world, right? And yet we're the ones protecting them and paying for it. That's insanity at its best. So there are huge differences between Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. And if you say there is no difference, again, you've got your head in the sand. There's no common sense thinking to that. And so you need to ask yourself,